Hi, I'm Brian.
Hi, I'm Adam.
And today we've got a challenge for Adam. Last time, well, a couple of times ago, it was a challenge for me, and this time I set one up for him. It's blinded. It's 2 beers. He has no idea how good they are, where I got them from. For all he knows, it's Bud and Bud Light. Not that we should knock that, but I mean, frankly, none of you watching probably are drinking Bud and Bud Light anyway. So I thought he could describe each one, see what he likes about each one and what he doesn't like, and frankly, he may not like one of them, but let's just see if he can describe them, get close to the IBUs, close to the alcohol content, and see which one he prefers, and then I'll reveal what it is at the end.
Okay.
All right.
All right. I'll start with the Steve McKenna glass here. It's a nice golden amber color, clear, head's almost dissipated, but it's a foamy white head.
Okay.
Ooh, wow, that smells awesome. This is it's an IPA, of course. It's citrusy. Oh man.
Make sure that one's too far away. You don't want to.
So these aromas are just phenomenal. Jumps out at me. Citrus aroma, citrus floral. Oh, juicy. Smells very good. So let me get started on this. What are you drinking there?
Same thing. So this is Alter Ego from the last video, and Julius from the last video. What I had left. So
all right, cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh, that's different. I haven't tasted an IPA or a double IPA like that. I get, hang on, let me try another sip.
Maybe it's not an IPA.
Yeah, maybe an American Pale Ale. It's definitely a hoppy drink. But it's really good. I'm hit with citrus, kind of like grapefruit.
Okay.
Grapefruit, maybe a little bit of tangerine. It's delicious though. It's got a little bit of sweet caramel malt backbone, well blended. Man.
So what about the IBUs and the alcohol? What would you guess?
Doesn't have that much bitterness.
Okay.
Doesn't linger. I'd say 40 to 50.
Okay.
Around that range. As far as alcohol content, doesn't taste. I would say maybe 6.5%.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
As far as the rating goes, man, that is really good. I've been getting out a lot of 5s.
Well,
I hate to do it again, but
you don't have to give a 5 after these two. I mean, goodness gracious. And again, I didn't tell you what they were. These may be store-bought things you can get all over the U.S.
Yeah, it's still good. It's really good. Very delicious. I'm going to give it a 5.
Okay.
It's either. It's not a double IPA. It's either an IPA or an American Pale Ale, depending on what the brewer wants to call it. But
all right.
Delicious.
Okay.
All right. Next one.
Number 2.
Next one. This was I noticed before I drank this, it was a little more straw colored, but still I'd call it golden, clear, creamy white head that's basically dissipated. Not getting much of aroma. Maybe some subtle citrus notes, grapefruit, very similar, but it didn't jump out at me like the first beer, the Steve McKenna glass. Yeah, there's some grapefruit, tangerine, but again, more subdued. So, cheers.
Cheers. I'm out of Julius. Oh well.
Sweet. I get sweetness right off the tongue. I'm getting sweetness, kind of caramel malt backbone.
Okay.
I'm getting more bitterness. Now I'm sitting here, a little bit of bitterness is coating the back of my tongue. Really sweet, syrupy flavors. Maybe some ripe fruit, sweet fruits, ripe pineapple.
Okay.
Yeah, again, ripe pineapple, maybe some grapefruit. Again, it's much more bitter. As I sit here, it's just coating my tongue, much more hot bitterness. It's not resinous, it's not piney. I'm not getting those oniony, garlicky flavors. It's still more of the citrus hop profile, but really bitter, kind of like really, grapefruit, lemony. With that's what sits on the back of the tongue, and in the front end, it's the more syrupy sweetness.
So what about alcohol content, ABV, and IBUs? What would you say? So you said more bitter. I mean, would you consider it much more bitter than this, or just a little more bitter?
Well,
what would you think?
Unless, so if I said, should I say 50 to 60 for that one?
40 to 50,
40 to 50, yeah.
Something like
this. This 80, 90.
Okay.
The alcohol content probably similar. Maybe a little higher. Maybe I'll go up to, I think I said 6.5. Maybe go up to like 8% for this.
Okay.
Yeah. Still a good beer. I would not rank it as high as the first one. I don't know. It's decent. I drink it. I would tell someone to drink it. Maybe give it a 4.25, 4.5, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Being generous, maybe a 4.5.
Okay. So we're going to cut to the second segment where I reveal what they are, and I'm going to pour myself a little bit and make sure I didn't switch the glasses on them accidentally, and we'll talk about them a little bit.
All right.
Okay, we're back. And so second part of the segment, I'm going to make sure I didn't screw the beers up and put the wrong one in the wrong glass. So these are supposed to be ordered the same way that you had them ordered. What about color? What would you say?
Very similar.
Do you think that, I mean, did I get them right?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, that's what I remember.
Those match?
Yep.
Okay.
This has like a golden reflection off the bottom. Yep.
So let's talk about this one first.
Okay. Oh, okay. Just gave it a 5 last night.
Ninja versus Unicorn was this one.
Okay.
So you gave it a 5, but today,
give it a 4.5.
Yeah. So that's pretty close.
Yeah.
So blinded.
I think sometimes when you taste things against something else, it can change the taste, or you just don't like it as much as something else, and so.
Right.
You rate it a little lower.
Or after Julius and Ego and Sip of Sunshine.
Yeah.
But still, 4.25, 4.5. I mean, this is a very, very good beer still. Mm-hmm. So now that you know what it is, the IBUs, 150. Which I'm sure is calculated because it's not really supposed to go up that high, and then 8%. So you're pretty close. I think you said 7. Is that what you said?
I
think you said 7 or 8.
6.5. Okay. I said 8 for that.
Yeah, so 8. So you got that on the money. Good job. As far as IBUs, I mean 80. The thing is, once it gets up that high, it's really hard to really say that it's that much higher in IBU. But the point is, you gave it a high IBU, so you got that right too. IPA. So good job.
I'll say what I think I went wrong on though. This I think is a West Coast IPA. I think it does have more of that oniony, garlicky flavor, and I guess I just didn't appreciate it while I was doing it, or just being new at this, But it's definitely more resinous and piney than I gave it, than I described it as.
Yeah, I think it's got a little bit of citrus aroma and flavor, but I do agree it's got more of a piney resinous.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a West Coast, but still a very, very good beer. So I'll reveal this one.
Your homebrew.
Homebrew.
Have I that only like a 4 or 5? Or?
I don't remember what you gave it when you tried it at the house, but it sat for a while. It sat on some dry hops for a while, so
you did good.
It is even better. Now you'll notice the head retention. This one, so the homebrew didn't retain the head as long. I may not have had as much carbonation as I'd like to have had. Of course, I also put it in a bottle earlier today, so I may have lost some carbonation there as well. But what I was going for was just the way he described it. So I'm very happy. I think he probably rated it higher than he would have. You tell me if I'm wrong, but considering what we were trying and when he pulled the test on me, it was all 100 rated beers, 5s all around. Only because he buys the best, and I'm too cheap for that, so I make my own.
But you make it well. It's very delicious.
It did turn out pretty well.
Yeah, no, I don't regret giving it a 5 at all. Its aroma is amazing. I don't think anyone would deny that.
No, and that's because I use a buttload of hops in this thing, and I also use a lot of dry hops. But when I tried Ninja versus Unicorn for the first time, I thought a lot of my own beer because I really thought that the malt profile of the Ninja was the same as what I use. I thought it was similar, so that's why I thought, well, I'm going to just put them head to head and just see what they taste like. And I thought, well, why not video it?
Yeah, sure.
So
what's your take on your own?
Well, of course, it's awesome.
I mean, what's your take on the comparison, I guess?
Comparison, I don't know, I guess I should really actually
like drinkers, yeah.
So the Ninja versus Unicorn, clearly a much higher IBU.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
I guess I should have given you the numbers on that. I'll give that when I taste it in just a second. But
it really coats your tongue, and it sits there and chews on your tongue.
In a good way, though.
In a good way.
This is
delicious.
There's no bitter there's bitterness, but it's not like a bad bitterness. Sometimes you get an astringent bitterness, and this does not have it at all, which you'd expect from Pipeworks, but. And for those of you who aren't used to it, Pipeworks recently added canning as part of their process, at least so I hear, and so it's good to be able to get cans of Pipeworks stuff. But I do agree with you, the resinous, there is a little bit of Citra aroma and Citra flavor, but it's more of a resinous, so more of a West Coast type hops.
I definitely messed up on that, I agree.
No, I wouldn't say you messed up at all, because a lot of those hops will have very overlapping aromas and overlapping flavors. And it just depends on what they're going for, whether they're going for the more resinous, piney, earthy, or whether they're going for the more citrusy, flowery, or just a combination of it. Yeah. And frankly, this is probably a little bit of both. And had I done my research, I would have looked up to see what hops they use. Excuse me, but I didn't. Yeah. It's good when you actually burp bitterness. That's awesome. Yeah. For those of you who are grossed out, sorry. Yeah. So what I was going for was really citrusy hops with citrusy aroma and flavor and low IBU. So the calculated IBU is 75, which is still fairly high, but the true IBU is probably lower than that, because when you taste it next to something that's high IBU, I mean, you can clearly tell that it's a lot lower.
Yeah.
And what'd you say? 40 to 50,
40 to
something
50,
like that.
yeah.
And that's probably close, because this was originally meant to be a Zombie Dust clone, which I believe is around 60-ish. So that's what I was going for.
It's funny you say that, because I thought he's going to be Zombie Dust, but I didn't think he had Zombie Dust, and so I guess I was partially biased, like, I better give this a 5, because I don't want to be here on camera saying my favorite beer is not a 5. But no, it still deserves it. It still deserves it. That. But that crossed my mind. You pulled it off, because it definitely hit my mind. I was like, this might be, when you were talking about, you sure it's an IPA? I was like, well, I guess Zombie Dust is an American Pale Ale. And so I thought, well, maybe that's what he's talking about. And it does taste like that. You did a really good job on that. So,
well, you're too smart for your own good, because you were thinking I was playing mind games on you by putting a Zombie Dust in there. But I was going for an American Pale Ale, so slightly lower alcohol and IBU. But as far as what it really is, I'm not going to get it analyzed, but it's probably lower than 75. Yeah. And frankly, it's probably closer to a 60 like a Zombie Dust, but I'm not sure you can tell the difference.
Yeah. But anyway, good job. I like the challenge.
I'm glad you liked it. I mean, obviously, I'm very happy that you rate my beer so high. But I honestly think that part of it was because you were expecting the zombie dust or something phenomenal. I should have put something really crappy in there too, so you could say what you really thought.
But I guess my most surprising, you try beer. I just drank this last night. He gave me a can, and not recognizing it. I mean, I thought it was more citrus than it was piney. And last night I said the exact opposite. It's just funny. Who knows?
It is, and I don't think it's because we haven't had too much today to say that.
No.
We've had a few different things, and we've had some really good beers, which would tend to make us rank things later a little bit lower. So again, this is a very, very good beer.
Yeah, you should definitely get it. You should definitely get it and drink it.
Absolutely. So comparing this one to Julius, or the Sip of Sunshine, since we did those in the last couple segments.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more bitter. I mean, definitely more. I mean, it's called a double IPA, 8%, 150. I mean, I don't know if I could taste all that high IBUs, but it's just totally different. It's good in its own right. It'd be interesting to compare it to something like Pliny. I think that would be.
It would be.
I don't have it anymore, but
unless you send it.
But that would be fun. We can surprise each other with one of those. But it's still a great beer, and you should definitely drink it.
All right. Well,
anything to add?
No, I think that was a great review. Hopefully you can get some of this. It's well worth it. If not, Zombie Dust, it's all in Chicago, Illinois, Zombie Dust in Illinois, but I'm gonna have to edit that out. That really sounds stupid. Very close to Chicago. I have been there, just outside of Chicago, and this is in Chicago, I think. Yeah, Chicago.
You need to try it.
So, and if you can't get one, get the other. Surely one or the other is in stock. Definitely worth trying. So I'm rambling, but thanks again.
All right, as always, if you can't have the beer you love the beer you have. Thanks.
Bye.